I'm going to call the Albany Selectmen's meeting to order for March 5th, 2025. Please rise and join in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. If it's okay with everyone, I'd like to move Jason to the front. I'm sure he's got better things to do.
Yep.
So we're up.
We're up, cool.
Yeah.
Yep. No, 2025 is Albany's update year for their assessing. The state has us all the towns on a 5-year schedule, which I'm sure some of you guys know that it's on a pretty strict schedule. So this is our year. And I'm sure you've read the papers and know that the real estate market has been up, especially since COVID. So real estate values are up, so we'll be bringing all the assessments up to market value as of April 1st, but we'll be working through the summer into the fall doing that. The first tax bill.
You can keep going.
Your mom's good? All right. The first tax bill this year will be, your May bill will be based on the old assessments. We'll get in, new houses, new subdivisions, some things for the first bill, but the majority of the new values and everything will take effect the second bill. And that way we'll have the new values, the new tax rate, and everything should be at 100%. Some people will be surprised at what their places are worth. We always get that, but we were just, like I said, we just drove around town and was saying, I'm picking out the ones, oh, this was a sale, this was a sale. Moatview, we've had about 3 or 4 sales over the last year or so, and that's what we always want. We want
Don't go by their valuations.
we want sales of all types of properties to reset our values, and as you guys know, I mean, if we double the values and if the budget stays the same, tax rate will get cut in half. It's just math. But unfortunately, I think I was talking with Elisa a little while ago that, yeah, your budget's up this year, just inflation and the cost of doing everything is up. So people always want to blame the person that isn't in the room, and I always take some hits, but that's just the nature of my job. But I've started working here. I was reminding Matt and Elisa that my dad started working here, I think back in the 70s. He was working here, and then I started working with him, and we've been working here for years and years now. Know the town very well, and I think and I've always got along with a number of different administrators and select boards we've had in here, and it's been a good continuity really that's worked out good over the years. But like I said, the first tax bill will be on the old system. We'll be working through the summer. We'll specifically be visiting building permits and things, but also the sale properties. We make a visit to those and try to look at those, the condition of the properties, and just to reset our base values, to reset the system. So we will, I think we put a thing in the town report. Did I put a page in the town report this year? Yeah. So that's kind of one notice to people. One of the reasons why I wanted to come down this week was to maybe, at town meeting next week, if you guys think of it, just remind people, hey, our assessor will be out once the weather gets good. The assessor will be out. He might be poking around a little bit more than usual this year, where it's our update year. And so if you see him out there, I usually check in with the town office, let them know I'll be around town a certain day in case you get calls. So they're always catching me on cameras and stuff. It's just the nature of the beast now. And we may, I don't know do they still do a Albany town column in the Sun, or do they stop?
Do we? I don't think we have since, oh,
What's
Who-
her,
who left?
Dorothy? Was it
Dorothy.
Dorothy?
Dorothy
Was
died
she-
from it.
She was done, you haven't had
I
one?
think we had someone take over for a little bit. I don't,
Yeah,
I don't look at the Conway Sun, so I don't.
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
so, but we'll just maybe,
But we will, when it comes closer,
yeah.
and I'm sure we won't have a problem, it goes on our website.
Yeah, that's the other thing,
And
yeah.
maybe we could post something.
Put it
for
on our
people When
webs-
they do the registrations. We
Yeah, we'll put
Get
a
a lot of people that notice
a
that.
little bit of notice out there, yeah, but, you know, we try to get some notice out there. What I always tell people that wanna give me a hard time, or they'll give me a hard time regardless, and that, again, that's just the nature of assessing, but I do have to visit properties, and if they call and report me, that's fine. I usually give the sheriff's office my license plate and car number and stuff too, so they know I'm out there, but, it's great fun, and we'll be out and around, and don't anticipate any problems. We were going over this, we had a few more building permits than usual last year, but,
Yeah, not so much houses, but additions and decks and
Really?
things like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
and that's fine, and I always tend to find a few things which I have to let the town office know about, or, and it's kind of teamwork too, between me and you guys and the town office and Pandora too,
Yeah.
trying to keep everything up to date. But again, I don't foresee any big issues, but just thought I'd come in and introduce myself, because like I said, I hadn't met you before, I don't think,
Yeah.
Jim, but we'll be out and around.
What
and-
has been the trend statewide as far as revaluation in the last couple of years? I mean,
Well,
you heard anything? I mean,
not really, I mean, I
how
went-
much are values going up on average?
well,
Percentage-wise?
we just finished the ratio study, which I think I sent you. Albany, we're at about 60% our assessments right now of market value, so.
62%.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the assessments will almost double based on the ratio of where we are right now. So, I mean, and if you guys watch Channel 9, I mean, one of the hard things was Rochester was on the news a lot. And one of the hard things that they experienced, but also Conway did too, was like in a really hot real estate market, not everything necessarily increases at the same rate. Unfortunately, it's some of your bottom barrel or your lower priced properties that increase more than others. Mobile homes, unfortunately, you'd think, everybody always said for years, mobile homes, they depreciate.
And didn't towns with lots of business, actually the business went down?
Yeah, but that's a function of the real estate market not being the same for every type of property.
Right.
Yeah, like, and that was the same thing in Conway. The residential property owners thought, because their percentages were higher than the commercials, they were getting the short end of the stick. The people that I talk to, I try to spin it around and say, well, maybe commercial was more than carrying their weight over the last few years. Maybe you should thank them for, carrying you guys for a few years. It all evens out over time, but Conway, I think Conway actually did their last reval a year early because they noticed things were getting out of whack a little bit, which we do, is our responsibility, ours and your responsibility, if we recognize something out of whack. But statewide, since COVID, property values have almost doubled throughout the state. And even some of the towns, again, up north have experienced it more consistently. It seems like the valley here just went crazy in 2021, 22. It kind of leveled off a little bit over the last year and a half, maybe. But there's nothing out there for sale either.
Yeah.
So I think we maybe plateaued, but again, it's the state's always overlooking our shoulder, and if you follow the legislature, you can count on your legislature to make things a lot more easier and less expensive all the
Well,
time.
yeah, but they're down there now, cause I've been following some of it,
Yeah,
trying to throw Band-Aids on all this lack of workforce housing.
yeah, you always be.
Okay, if they had taken care of the short-term rentals when it was before it became a problem,
Instead of-
we wouldn't be experiencing it.
Yeah, no, never count on your legislatures they don't always recognize the
Well,
unintended
there's bills
consequences.
down there taking local control away from zoning.
Yeah,
There's, I think, 3 bills just with ADUs.
Yeah.
Making it mandatory that we cannot,
Disallow.
you can't
allowed by
regulate
right,
them and things.
allowed by right.
Yeah, it's finding a happy medium, yeah.
Well, they blew it, they need to do something about short-term rentals.
Mhm.
You know, if they're gonna have ADUs, or they're gonna have any kind of building, do it in commercial and in business zones,
Mhm.
okay, where business is allowed, cause that's what these are, they're business.
Yeah.
Don't ruin the residential neighborhoods, that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, but I think the state saw that they were gonna get rooms and meals money out of all these, and they
Well,
saw dollar signs.
Yeah, but look at what they do up here, they promote tourism, okay?
Yeah.
But do they do anything about the traffic problems up here, or the roads, or anything like that? No.
The bare minimum.
Who manages our tax maps? As far as
It's
there's some discrepancies. on,
Avatar does.
That's right, yeah.
Avatar does.
Yeah,
Yeah, so to get those fixed, we go to Avatar.
yeah, my dad did them years ago, but, he gave those up years ago, but,
I don't like the new ones they got out.
Yeah.
yeah,
They're terrible.
yeah,
You
and
can't manipulate them, you can't turn around and do a screenshot of an area of a map.
Right.
yeah, it's kind of funny,
You
yeah,
know,
they,
I mean, it's,
and I found a few errors that I keep meaning to write down and give to you. I'll make a note of that.
Make a note to keep notes.
Yeah. Tax map, yeah, discrepancies, and I made some notes last year about them. Be nice, because I don't think we have many subdivisions, haven't had much going on,
Nothing's
but
happening with
but
that.
they do.
Close. You
Uh-oh.
you know about the habitat.
Habitat's
Yeah,
still
that'll
working
be
at
one.
things,
Yeah.
yeah. But they haven't been submitted an official proposal yet.
Oh, yeah.
have- Oh,
They got approval for
for 6 lots.
6 lots.
oh,
Five?
okay.
5 or 6?
6.
5 or
It's
6.
six.
I
And
thought it
there's
was
6 building lots, but the property, the lot that's left over is the 6th one.
Oh,
Right,
okay.
yeah.
Alright, so. No, Avatar's mapping division does theirs. I don't know if it's Terra Map, they call it something different, but it's Avatar. Yeah, they do that.
Well, Jason, we're very happy with you. And every time a question, no, Jason's got it. No, Jason, we rely on you a lot, so just to put the burden on you a little bit more, but it's calming to know that you've been doing it for so long and you know our town, and it helps us. a lot.
Yeah, no, the continuity does, and like I said, it's a team effort.
Yeah.
And I told Lisa I felt a little bad that we haven't communicated as much because I was so busy last fall in a couple other towns, but
Yeah.
she emails me or calls me and she's got some issue, but no, we keep our
That's good.
fingers crossed, and I don't know. I like to say I fly under the radar a little bit, because it's I don't like to be a target or anything for people, but
Yeah, but they're all using infrared now.
They'll find you.
I've been told I should have a drone to look at certain properties, but I think there was a bill in the legislature about disallowing drones for certain governmental uses. So, no, so again, I don't see any.
Don't fly over my house.
Shoot it down, maybe. But no, I don't see any big issues. I just thought I thought it'd be great to come in and touch
That's great.
bases with you guys, and
Yeah.
again, if there's any big issues, we'll be in communication a lot more this summer just to keep everything up to date. And,
Good to see you. I haven't seen you in about 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, I was telling Matt, it might have been like the end of COVID or something, or the beginning of COVID. The beginning of COVID was maybe the last time I probably.
Well, it was
Talk to your face.
shortly I had some health issues.
Oh, okay.
to deal
Yeah.
with.
No.
Don't get old.
I get more and more gray hair. They tell me.
I know. It's distinguished though.
Yeah. So no, I'll have a contract I think for you guys within a week or two. Again, I've been swamped with leftovers from last year, but that'll be coming up right up, and you never know. DRA always picks apart something on that, but we'll work through that, and it should be all raring to go once the snow's gone.
Next week.
Next week. We'll see. But
Thank you, Jason.
thank you guys.
It was nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
Good luck with everything.
We'll be around. Thanks a lot. We'll see ya.
All right.
Thanks.
Have a safe trip.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start at the beginning. On the new business, approval of selectmen's meeting minutes for February 19th, 2025.
Move to approve as presented.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Approval of March 5th, 2025 consent file. Review and sign manifest in the amount of $21,601.51 and $10,121.26. This includes an accounts payable and payroll manifest for 2/25/2025 and 3/4/2025. Review, discuss, approve, or deny a residential building permit application for 160 Bald Hill Road. Review, discuss, and sign municipal work zone agreement for Ossipee, Milan from the New Hampshire DOT. State Project 4845, Federal Project X-A 004 or 504, and that is the Rumble Strip project. Review and discuss 2024 final ratio study report, and review and discuss Revel Marathon race follow-up.
And the E and F, I did email to you guys separately too.
Yes.
Just to take a peek at those.
I'm sure we have questions.
On the marathon race, I
Yep.
think we need to call them in to discuss what they're gonna do.
I agree with that.
I think we discussed that last year when there were some issues.
We did, and she seemed willing to do that.
So I had talked to him before because he had reached out before. I passed it along to you guys, voiced some concerns. I talked to John Eastman about it in pretty good detail, which really we don't have a ton of say over it. It's a permit from DOT.
Right.
But they did, if you get a chance and can peek through, they did revise all their stuff. They have way more police detail as far as traffic and all of that. So
No, the object of bringing them in here in person is to let them know that we're serious about them taking care of our residents.
okay.
And I think that was part of the discussion we had the last go around, because there were some complaints.
I think it's healthy that we do it.
Yep.
Okay. I think the issue he had last time was we wanted him to come after town meeting, and then I think the race is fairly soon after that. I don't
Yeah.
have the date on me, but I think
Yeah.
that was his
Well,
worry.
Well, that's not our problem.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm just the messenger.
Well, I think what happened was he needed the approval quickly,
Yeah.
that we couldn't meet with him before, and at that point, we didn't have any reason, a good reason to meet, because we didn't have a
Right.
problem yet, so.
Yeah,
I
will
mean,
reach
the
out to him.
the final ratio study, I mean, that's basically a done deal.
Yep.
There's nothing we can do.
Yeah,
on
it
that.
was just
I'd make a motion, subject to that gentleman or lady or whatever coming in to meet with us. I'd move to approve the consent file as presented.
I'll second that. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, town administrators report.
I really don't have a ton new. Met with Jason today, kind of discussed a lot of the same stuff we just did.
Yeah.
Office running
Yes, we're
smoothly?
lucky we have
Office is
him.
running smoothly.
Good.
Kelly's been a great help.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we're gonna just spend a good time just prepping for the town meeting, making sure I've got any info that I need or
Yeah.
all of that.
So, this an all-day affair?
They all are.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, so which I did not realize either, but apparently the voting is from 10 to 6.
yeah.
Then the school board meeting's at 7. Once the school board meeting's done, then
School board meeting's 20 minutes.
okay.
It's,
Yeah, and town meeting, there's nothing
There's nothing.
controversial on it.
no.
Yeah.
And since there's no real voting, people tend not to come. A
Yeah.
lot of people come vote and wait for the meeting. I don't see a big deal, but.
I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of the
Still gonna be
election
prepared.
officials are here later because they gotta count everything out, they got certain forms they gotta put together, they gotta seal up the ballots, I mean, there's a bunch of things to do, but as soon as town meeting is done,
Yeah.
you know, you can leave.
Yeah.
What's on the elections for this year besides selectmen here? I mean, it's,
I don't know, I haven't been following it.
yeah,
I mean, as far as warrant articles for town meeting, there's not that many.
yeah, but that's during town meeting, that's not for all day sitting here, so people come in and vote.
There's a lot of vacancies.
Yeah. No, we gotta do what we gotta do. I mean, I'm good for later in the day, I don't know how you guys wanna break it up. I
I
don't
can
think
be
Ed's,
here all day, so
yeah,
I plan on
okay. I don't know how Ed's gonna really care how many are here for an election like
Well,
this.
it's not him that cares, it's the state.
Right,
If, you know, if they come in and check and we're not up to par with our requirements,
I'm sure we'll
we
hear
get
from,
written up on it.
I'm sure we'll hear from Ed, the moderator.
He was in today.
Yeah, if he needs help, because we're responsible for the setup
Okay.
for town meetings, so if he needs help moving chairs or whatever, so.
Okay. And I helped Sandy before
Yeah,
setting up
so-
the booths
yeah.
and doing all of that. So
Okay,
I think Sandy's husband comes by. He helps
What
out
time does
too.
it start in the morning?
10.
10.
Oh, that's not too bad.
okay, well, the elections,
I mean, I was-
the election Sandy's, but the town meeting is on.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, instead of you putting in a humongous day, you know, from when do you get here, 7:30?
7:30.
You know, maybe come in at 10.
That's
and
what.
work- And work till,
I'm fine with
you
that.
know.
Yeah, that's what Kelly
Unless
said
there's an
too,
emergency
too.
or something like that where you gotta be here a little early, but
Yeah.
I don't foresee, anything like that happening.
No. And I don't, at least at this point, I don't see a need for a meeting for us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
no.
not something you'd have to prep for that, just have
Right.
the checks ready. If something changes and we had to have a meeting, it'd be really quick.
Okay.
If there's a decision that had to be made, so I don't
Right.
see that yet.
Yeah, but we can do that, we'd have to wait until everybody was present, so it'd be
Yeah.
later in the day and she'd be here by then.
Right,
So I mean, if you wanted to come in, say 10 or 11, I mean, work backwards from, school meeting starts at 7,
yeah,
half an hour, and then
then it's us, and it would take
you're
a few
looking
minutes.
about 8:30, 9 o'clock at the latest.
Mm.
Work back the time that you put in for the day
Okay.
from that.
If you
And
have
just
something
like
to do
Sam-
during the
just
day,
like-
Yeah.
And
if you're
just
gonna
like
run out and, you know, take care of something,
Yeah.
you know, I know you, I don't know if your son's home alone or.
So for that, I'm gonna have my daughter come stay with him, just because I don't like him home alone at night. late,
Because I'd say
but
you could
that's
bring him
about
here
it.
if he could keep busy, he could do his
Yeah.
homework or something, but he's kinda old for that.
He'd rather be home.
Yeah,
He actually has that day off too,
yeah,
because Wolfboro.
okay.
So he's either my daughter will come hang with him at the
Okay.
house, or he'll go to her house.
So you'll have the morning,
yeah, I'll be
that's
fine.
good, I'm all for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you can come in, you know, like I said, work back from,
Right.
Yeah, if you figured 9 the latest, I would hope.
you know,
And even,
how many times does a town administrator have to participate in town meeting? I mean, when I was chairman for 6 years. I don't recall the town administrator speaking at a town meeting.
I think it's not so much speaking, it's jogging our memories on things. That,
She said just take good notes throughout it and
Yeah.
pay attention.
Last year she helped me with the
I think she
remembering
answered questions.
money
Yeah.
budget.
If she's got the knowledge, she likes answering the
right,
questions.
it
I
wouldn't
think
be
that was
about you
part of it.
answering, it'd be more about,
Mm,
you know, we can fly solo if you want. And like I said, I'm not expecting anything, and we'll just be prepared for it. But,
Well, I don't think there's many questions about whatever's on the warrant that we can't answer.
no. I agree.
And if it's
we
really
can't
off-
answer it, we
If
can't
it's
answer it.
really off the wall, we'll get back to the person.
That's all.
Right, yeah.
So how would you rather do it?
I mean, I want to experience it.
Yeah.
I feel like I should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you should
Um,
experience at least one.
Yeah.
And if we're long for time, you can go.
All right.
We'll just say, you just,
Yeah, no, that's
give us
fine.
a
I mean,
wink,
I'm
wink and a nod,
planning
we'll say,
on.
yeah.
I was planning on being there for it. My more reservation was having to talk, which I talked to
no,
Rick about. I just don't really
You don't
feel
have-
ready yet.
No.
But that's what he said. Like I really.
but I think it'd
wouldn't
be good to
have
meet the people.
Yeah, no, I'm totally fine. I
Okay.
want to be there. I feel like I
Right.
should be just to experience it and see how it's done and
Good.
keep learning.
Well, you know, the other thing you could do is don't sit at the head table, sit at a table out back. And
Yeah.
If the town
just
meeting
take
looks like
notes.
it's just going nicely, just,
Yeah.
That's, I'm all for
and, you
it.
know, I mean,
We'll be,
No, I mean I'm planning on it. The weather looks good.
okay,
I'm in it.
good, wonderful. And that's it for you?
Yep.
We had an appointment with Jason, and that went well. Other business, anything with the planning board?
Planning board's next meeting is Monday, coming up.
Okay.
I think there'll be a follow-up on Reardon Smart wanting to do some boundary line adjustment or what, I don't know what you call it.
who knows what
Mediation drive stuff.
Yeah,
they wanna build a house in the middle of a cul-de-sac.
cul-de-sac, yeah, reclaim the cul-de-sac and so, I don't know.
Give
Anyways, is that,
Okay.
go planning board. Go ahead, I'll wait till D.
You wanna wait till you, alright. Not any word from the Conservation Commission, everything's, no news is good news.
Yeah.
Solid Waste had a
We
meeting.
had a meeting today. We are reworking the memorandum of understanding and the bylaws to it. We've come to the conclusion that they've been in violation of their own agreement. Well, the committee of 3 towns, Eaton, Albany, and Conway, has basically been in violation of their agreement and the bylaws for years. We have kind of a consensus of the group. We had a full group and representation from everybody. We are gonna amend the MOU and bylaws. That's what we're gonna spend the next 2 or 3 months taking care of. We all felt that the current situation at the transfer station and solid waste facility, as well as the planning for the various landfills that they're using, as well as the final capping of it and whatnot, is been well organized. So whoever picked up the ball when one group dropped the ball, it was probably the town manager, because that would probably fall under his job description, and the selectmen in Conway, basically did a nice job of pulling that all together and bringing it to where it is right now. And I think the consent, like, we didn't do any voting, but and I'm the chair.
That must have been quite a struggle.
Don't go there. There was a consensus of everybody there, I saw no disagreement that we could take and leave the solid waste and the transfer station operating the way it is and adapt the MOU and the current bylaws to replicate that.
Yep.
There are some deficiencies in the agreement with regards to what it costs and that sort of thing. Shouldn't change anything because we've been paying what it should be all along. And looking over those numbers, we're okay. I don't have any issues with the numbers.
Great.
Last time I was a selectman, Chuck and I really looked at them and didn't see anything out of place type of thing. But the agreement needs to be updated. And we felt that updating the original agreement would be better than starting with a clean sheet of paper and just doing an intermunicipality agreement. Because we'd be then liable for a bunch of possibly new rules, regulations at the state.
Yeah.
Whereas right now, everything is going pretty nicely. And, you know, I go to the dump probably 2 or 3 times a month. I don't know about you folks, but it's pretty well organized. They do a nice job. Whoever's responsible for them, I mentioned at the meeting, I said, whoever's responsible for bringing it to this point, you know, my hat's off to them. And my compliment. And that's where it's gonna be. Krista checked with town council to see if we could do the agreement the same way it states in the bylaws, which is the approval of the 3 select boards. So at some point down the road here, I'll be bringing a new agreement back to us here for approval.
They don't have a deadline on it.
It's been out of whack
Yeah.
for so long that,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, it's not.
So that's not a yearly agreement we do with them?
No,
No,
it's
because I'm sure.
It's a period of time, I mean, it's, and the original bylaws, the way I read it, and most people on the committee read it, is that the district is supposed to be running it. Everything,
Yeah.
budgeting, paying bills, hiring and firing, buying equipment,
Yeah, it's,
advertising the equipment,
yeah.
you know, etc. Well, Conway, because it's in their backyard, at some point, got tired of, you know, the committee not meeting regularly and doing what they were supposed to do, and most of the people that signed the original agreement, are long gone. They took it over because they had to.
Right.
And by law, we as selectmen here in Eaton and in Conway are required to be responsible for solid waste. So it's not like we have a choice.
Right.
Right, that's what
Okay.
we're
And let me just say this, I mean, we're spending, you know, probably $45,000, maybe almost $50,000 a year for solid waste and whatnot. Eaton is about the same, maybe a little bit more because of their valuation. We do it on equalized valuation, which I think is a fair way to do it. We couldn't,
Yeah.
if it got thrown on our shoulders right now, we'd have to buy a piece of land, okay, with neighbors that would like to have a transfer station in their backyard.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we'd have to go through all the requirements of the state.
Right.
And RSA 149M governs transfer stations and solid waste and all the nuances that go on with it, okay? We'd have to hire somebody probably full-time to manage that.
Right.
Unless, you know, the selectmen wanted to take it on as CEOs.
Right. Yeah. That would make sense.
Okay, so, you know, we feel that this is the way to go. And because of 91A, I and other people on the committee like to work from a draft. And the draft we have is a typewritten, old-fashioned typewriter written type of thing. We decided that 2 people ought to get together on the committee, 2 of the actual members of the committee, to draw up a draft based on the originals, okay? And then we're gonna bring that to the committee and then tear into it at that point. And myself and John Kovath are the chosen 2. Because if we had 3 people on it, okay, it'd be nice to have a representative from each town on it, but that would constitute a meeting, And we'd have to go through all the minutes and all that kind of stuff. And all we want to do is put together a working draft that we can now present to the committee to work on. And that's where we left it today.
That's good. It's good.
And it was about an hour-long meeting.
Yeah. It's good that we got a rep there now.
And I'm the chair, and Ed Riley, I don't know if it's O'Reilly or Riley. He's a selectman over in Eaton. He's the co-chair. And for instance, you know, in the bylaws, we have to have a treasurer and a secretary. And if we're not operating it, why would we need a treasurer?
Right.
And they had two legal opinions, like 10 years ago, okay, that conflicted each other. And, yeah, I mean, I don't agree with either of them personally, and I don't think anybody on the committee does either.
Right.
But the district was supposed to run itself, and it's not. So, we're working on it, and I'll keep you posted.
Thank you for that. Okay, now the chapel committee.
They did have a meeting on the 25th, I think it was.
Yeah.
The 25th. They're moving forward with a bunch of things. They do plan on being here for town meeting. They'd like to have a table, and
Yeah.
we'll open up the chapel, and I'd like to get up there and see how to turn some heat on, just to take the chill out of it. They also would
I
like.
think, Jim,
Yeah.
not to interrupt you, but I think the heat over there, if I'm not mistaken, is set at 50.
Oh, is it?
It used to be. Now, I don't know if it still is.
Right. Okay.
What's the heating?
Hmm?
What's the heating? There's no water over there, right?
I think that's the way it, when the Historical Society had it.
It preserves things better.
I don't know, but I know at one time,
Yeah.
it was left on at like 45 or 50 degrees, whatever the lowest setting
Yeah.
was. Just FYI.
Alright.
It sounds like they would like to meet, they would like to join our first April meeting. As the whole community will probably show up here
Sure.
and,
Yeah,
have some dialogue.
we all drive together.
Yep.
That's good.
Other than that, there's some other stuff, but, we talked about things they wanna do, but they'll go over that, I'm sure, at the meeting.
Fantastic. Okay. Under correspondence, review, discuss, and vote on the annual agreement for services with the Conway Area Humane Society.
I make a motion that we approve that and sign it and be done with it.
I second that. All in favor?
Aye.
It looks like it only needs my signature.
Yeah, I mean, $500, I mean, it helps us with our
Yeah.
responsibility of dealing with animals and that sort of thing.
Yep.
And we still don't have an animal person.
Review, discuss, and vote on Channel 3 memorandum of understanding from the town of Conway. So, I met with the town manager, John Eastman, and Bill from Valley Vision. I couldn't get things together for this meeting, so I figured it was important enough that I make the trip over and have a sit down. I went through the memorandum, and of course, it was news to all of us that our fee is not 50 anymore, it's 75, which we knew that, so they fixed that. I discussed the fact that, at least in my opinion, that the charge shouldn't fluctuate. We should have a set fee for services rendered, scope of service deal.
Now, what are we talking about? Are we talking about Channel 3, or are we talking about the video?
We're talking about Channel 3 first, and then I'm gonna go to the video one. So Channel 3 Valley Vision, we all kind of remembered that we had a cap of $5,000. Last year, it went above that. I brought that to everyone's attention in good faith, and they said because it was never written down, but it was always kind of an understanding that it was 5. They would set the price at 5,000. That matches Eaton, Jackson and Freiburg. That's what they pay. So we'd be matching everyone else. If we don't collect that much in franchise fees, they'll take the hit. We don't have to make it to the 5. If the franchise fees under the 5, we give them everything we got and they call it good. If it goes over the 5, we keep the excess. So this year, we have one in our budget for 59, I think.
Yeah.
So we're only gonna be on the hook for the 5. So we can either adjust that at town meeting, or we can move the money somewhere else appropriately.
Well, I would just leave it in the budget and use it to fix something around there.
That's what I thought too. And it gives us another year to look at things. I know you're anxious about it. I figure they gave a little, we gave a little. It's an agreement for this year. I'm fine with it. I think, I don't see how anyone else isn't gonna be fine. Some, of course, aren't gonna be, but for matching the other towns, we can't really, because
Well, go ahead, finish.
I think that we get, at least compared to Jackson, I don't exactly know what their population is, but it's pretty comparable, I bet. So, the fees out for, if we hear anything else, there's no $25 fee. He's never charged that, that's the one you saw.
Well, that was one of the
Yeah,
points in it.
But that, he said he's never charged it, he said that actually no one's ever even presented him with something to hear. So, that came right out, that wasn't a problem at all. And
Well, the problem I had with it was the charges that he was put on, the town was responsible for the payment of them. If an ordinary person wanted, say, their birthday party put on TV, okay, the town was gonna be paying for it according to that agreement, the original.
right, which,
If the person wants to put it on and pay for it themselves,
no, this
I don't
is,
have a problem with it.
as long as Valley Vision doesn't have to do the filming and the editing. If it's presented to them on flash drive or whether they accept it, then they're happy with it. As far as what we pay for filming,
Well, before you go on,
Yep.
on that subject there, I did some checking also. Okay, a franchise fee, are in most all cable contracts dating back to when they started. A franchise fee is specifically for the use of the town's right of way to run their infrastructure and their money. Okay?
Right.
It's not paid to the town so that we have to pay for our citizens to watch their TV shows. That's the problem I have with it.
Well, I brought that up, and there's different opinions, but my suggestion is we don't consider the two bind. Franchise fee, we get the franchise fee, but we're gonna pay Valley Vision for the use of Channel 3. We don't have to consider,
So we're charging taxpayers to pay for people, the few people that wanna watch Channel 3, to watch Channel 3. That isn't proper either.
we do that so many ways. Not everybody uses the school, not everybody uses Meals on
Yeah.
Wheels, not everybody uses a lot of things.
Well, Meals on
Well,
Wheels is a warrant article, it's petitioned.
Okay.
This needs to go back onto a petition warrant.
Not by Tuesday.
I realize that.
So I'm trying to put out fire, so I think this is, we were given something, I think it's acceptable,
And that there, you can't sign that one there because there's a discrepancy in there. There's a $6,500.
So he forgot to change on the very first page. He still has it listed as the 60.
I think you got the wrong one, because I caught him on that and he fixed that.
Maybe he sent me the wrong.
He
That's
might have,
what
I bet he
sent me.
sent, I bet he sent the,
The original.
we caught that and he did change that.
Okay.
We're not signing today anyway,
Okay.
because I believe, but I'm not sure, I think Conway signs it first, because they're on the top.
Okay.
So I think that
I can reach out to
I
him
think that if we
tomorrow
can-
and just make sure I get that right on.
if we can come to some agreement, this can go back, and this can go back to them for their signature, and then come back to us.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, we'll have that number changed. The second part of it, with the weekly filming and any filming that they do,
And then the other thing that I found out with regards to this particular subject, Spectrum can't turn off just Albany.
right? Well, I don't feel that makes it right though,
Why?
because
Why are we charging all the taxpayers of Albany for the few people that wanna watch Channel 3? That's the problem I have. So the school system is not a good.
so how do we let the people that want to watch Channel 3, how do we let them watch it? I don't think that it's fair that the people that want to watch it can't watch because the people that don't want to watch it.
That's between them and.
Well, it's gonna be, like you said, we're going to war next year. But that's not gonna help us for Tuesday. That's where I'm at. So, let's finish this up, and then we'll vote appropriately, and we all vote the way we wanna vote, but that's the best I can do right now. I mean, this kinda came quickly. With the filming, it's $75 per film. We can, and when I asked Lisa yet, she did, was the numbers that we paid filming costs for 2024. We paid $3,555.
And that's at $75.
That's at 75 per meeting. Town hall streams was, I believe, when I saw it way back when I was in office, it was 3,000.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So, we're not far off. We have an option, and Bill told me this, and he said that it's being done elsewhere, is where we buy the equipment, we set it in the corner, we hit the on button, and there's no charge. My thought, and if we,
What is the cost for that?
well, that's, he said he'll go through the recommendation of what we should have and everything it would take, and we would purchase it. We just talked
Because
about
there was
this.
an option with the guy from Maine as well.
Yeah,
Because I
yeah.
believe Molten Borough does that, they own their own equipment.
So we didn't get to that point because that was part of our conversation. He didn't have the number there, but, if we do this quickly and we wanna go that way, then the money that we're paying, that we have in the budget, I would assume, could go towards that. That's my thought. Because then we have budgeted for this year $4,650. Can't imagine it's gotta be more than that. So, well,
Well, it depends on the equipment you buy.
I don't think it's gonna be this, but it's gonna
We
be,
want the right stuff, we don't want to buy stuff that you can't.
well, we want something user friendly too. Because that was the part he said, it's up to us to hit the on button, make sure the volume.
Well, that's what we did before,
We did.
and it worked just
So-
once everybody knew.
So without Valley Vision, we can't watch it anyway. So I'm just saying, if we don't do Valley Vision, we don't get Valley, we can still watch it, like you said, but our meetings won't be on there.
Yeah, but they're not on
They
the
can be on YouTube.
They're on YouTube.
They're on there now. I watch them every Sunday night, from 5 to 7,
On what channel?
on Channel 3. That's our time slot, that's the only time slot. I spoke about that too, and he said that he can replay, because I said, what about these empty slots? He said, well, I can plug you in different places so everybody gets a chance to see it. Because I usually just catch it when I'm scanning through, but at 5 to 7 on Sundays, our time's left. So, this is where we're at.
I would suggest that you bring him in once he's done some homework and we discuss it further.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, that's my recommendation.
I agree with you.
So, I'm gonna make a motion that we sign a memorandum of understanding with the town of Conway for, Valley Vision,
For what amount of money?
for the amount of $5,000, not to exceed $5,000. And actually, it's written on here how it's gonna work. Under
You're on the second page.
scope of services. Let's see. And it says right there, time slot, Sunday, 5 to 7. The fee schedule will be $5,000, which is equivalent to the same fee charged Bartlett, Jackson, and Freiburg. The schedule shall not exceed $5,000. Should the franchise fees collected for the year be less than $5,000, the amount collected will be paid to the town of Conway. Which means whatever we collect under the 5 will go to Conway. But 5,000 is the cap. So, we're not gonna sign. So we're gonna pull it out there. I have a motion. Do I get a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Maybe.
We're gonna sign it next meeting?
Yes. Because I don't believe it's.
And I'll reach out to John.
Yeah, I just, because we were playing today back and forth, but I couldn't get you the email on my phone, so
Yeah.
I think he just went in
Yeah.
correctly and hit send, but I know he did correct that.
I would be very interested in hearing what we could set up here.
I think that'll solve a lot of
Well,
this.
it'll save us some money in the long run. There's an investment up front.
Yes.
Can we do it all this year? We'd have to see what the cost would be. When I originally talked to the fellow in Maine, because we were on a limited amount of money to make it happen, what we had here was all that he could do
Right.
with the regular
Yeah.
monthly fee.
How long ago was that we had our own system here?
We did away with it 2 years ago, I think. I think it was
Just want to know technology and what's out there and.
Right.
Is there
And
other
when I
ways
talked
we-
to Eric up there, right at the beginning, he gave us that choice, and he told us to look at Molten Borough's setup.
Yeah.
They have a single camera setup
Yeah,
that shows the whole room.
yeah,
And they have, I guess, a couple of the type of microphones that really, they're good, but all you need is maybe one or two here, and it catches everybody's voice. Now, the only question I would throw into that, there was some discussion at an earlier meeting that we had out in the hall about moving everything out there.
Yeah.
So whatever we're gonna do needs to be,
mobile.
Oh, well, he said tripod is on. So I.
well, no, I'm just saying, that would have to be a situation.
And like including like Zoom also
Yeah,
in that package, so
yeah.
we have the ability to bring it outside.
Right, and I also talked to, what's his name, Paul, the guy that does several other towns. I know he does Tamworth, he does the commissioners. He can't take on any more work. He said the same thing, you'd be better off getting a camera and setting up your own little setup,
Yeah,
you
I
know.
agree.
The only issue with that is if you have problems.
Right, yeah,
No issues?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I wonder if that system could be part of our whole computer technology support we have.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, but if you had a problem like right before a meeting where it didn't do it.
Right.
But we're not obligated to do.
that's what I said too.
Right.
So, I mean, if we miss one because of a technicality type of thing,
Yeah.
I'd be a learning curve to it.
you know, we're making the effort.
If we do our own, we can still submit that to Channel 3 and have them play it.
I thought I'd make sure, but I believe it's still live streaming.
Right.
Well,
That's, we'll have to work it
it's
out.
live streamed through YouTube.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we'll have to, but again, I wanted
But
to
I-
see how you guys felt before we move forward and
I'd
talk.
like you to pursue that.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I also thought, whether we can or not, but we're gonna have excess from the 5,000, it's another 1,900. If we could add that to this number, that might get us closer to the camera, depending on what that might be.
Right.
And if we had to kick a little bit more from somewhere else, I think it's definitely worth it. It alleviates a lot of trouble.
And then the other thing I would suggest, and I would suggest it to the planning board, now that TV screens are getting bigger,
Mhm.
that was one of the biggest ones we could find
Yeah.
back when we bought it, and it's hard to read for old eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, I would think if we do something to move everything out there, we could do
You know, get a
85 now. or
Get a
75.
75 or 85 inch screen type of thing, they come way down in price.
Mhm.
Yeah,
The only problem is they're very fragile, it's not something that you can move around easily.
Yeah.
so we'll do that tomorrow, contact John,
Yeah.
let him know that he sent the wrong one, and let him know that we're moving forward.
Yeah, and just send us their signed copy.
Yeah, and see if it's just, I'm assuming because they're on the top, that
Yeah.
they sign first, maybe not, but
Yeah.
whatever, however it works.
Alright. Of course.
Thank you. And we have no non-public this evening, no public comment. Anyone else here have anything to say? Before
Move to adjourn.
I second that.
all in favor, aye?